it says that you need.
Okay, well,
It says that you need access.
Oh, yes. All right, hold on a second. Should be good now. In fact, I might need you to read. That's true. I'm changing it to editor because I'm actually going to give you edit access to the presentation. So I'm going to present my spreadsheet, which will be my presentation today. So instead of using Google Slides, I'm going to use a Google Sheets spreadsheet, and I have given you edit access. If you cannot edit, you'll need to refresh because I changed the permissions just a second ago. And so if you can just go ahead and find any cell here on this first sheet, which I will name welcome, and put your name. I love collaboration in Google Doc Sheets and Slides. It's something I do pretty much every single day. And I highly encourage you to get all of your students together on the same spreadsheet. Now, that's not the point of what we're doing today. We're going to do some pixel art, but I'm going to show you how we can do it all in the same spreadsheet if you would choose. So hi, Lauren. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Gabby. Glad to have you. And so what we are looking at is pixel art. I am on the second tab, which you do not have edit access to. And if I type single digit numbers, so I type a 1, it turns red. I type a 2, it turns orange. 3, yellow. 4, green. 5, blue. 6, purple. 7, mauve. 8, brown. 9, black. And 0 will be gray. Now, I actually have down at the bottom, it says person 1, person 2, person 3. So if you would like to claim a tab, and good luck with this. No, normally what I do is I run template tab and I put the kids' names on the tab. And actually that's how I created this, was I did my template tab, which created a tab for each of you, but obviously with just generic names instead of your real name. So if you'll double click on the tab, you can rename the tab. If someone steals your tab, just go get another one. You know, it's not going to be a big deal. So find a tab, put your name on it. If you see someone else's square lit up on there, just go to a different tab, just abandon ship, get a different one. All right, so I see Kimberly. Now let me show you a trick. If you click on the triangle on the tab, it has the option to change color. You can change the color on the tab. And so if you want to choose your favorite color, it just helps to identify that it's claimed. Now, the way that I use that is I ask students to change the color on their tab once they are done, that they're like, hey, I'm ready for you to check my work. That's my general way of doing it. But for now, I just think it'll be nice if you want to change the color of your tab. Let me put the link here into the chat again. Here is the, okay, forgive all that very terrible typing. Apparently I don't know where to put spaces. So what you're going to do is on your tab, you've claimed your tab, you've put your name on the bottom, you've changed the color of the tab, and then on the sheet itself, as I have this grid of very small squares. And if you just go ahead and type numbers, single digit numbers, it's going to make colors. 4, 9, 9, 4, 4, 9, 9, 4. 4, and actually I need these E4s. 4, 4, 9, 9, 4, 4, 9, 9, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 9, 9, 9, 9, 4. So you were able to create a picture by just using the single digit numbers. And I actually think that I've got this set up, like if I put 11, 12, 13, 22, 33, 44, 55. If you do double up, I've actually done a few extra ones. And all I've done is I've set the conditional formatting that when you type this number, this color will show up. So if you would, on your tab, just create me a picture. And if you were a child, you would not be struggling with this at all. I find that it's a lot harder for big people than little people. I barely showed, I don't even think I showed. I said, type numbers to she was 6. And I was about to explain how to do this. And then I turn around, she has a horse and flowers and the sun. And I'm like, okay, so you don't need any help with this. And kids just really have a fun time creating pictures using the pixel art. So if you're looking for something fun to do with kids, you can just fire up pixel art and ask them to make you a picture. And it's a great way to introduce kids to spreadsheets. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes there, kind of play around. I'm going to click on your tabs and see what you're creating. All right. I told the students for my birthday to make me a birthday cake in the spreadsheet. And again, just fun ways to introduce them to using spreadsheets. And they are fun to do. I hope you are enjoying the creativity aspect of it. So if you want to look over here just real quick, let me show you a trick. Is if I type a number, say I type 3, and I hold down the shift key, so I get a whole rectangle. So shift and click somewhere else, it gives a whole rectangle, and you do control enter, and I'm on a Mac, so I did command enter. It makes a giant square. It fills them all in. So if you're looking to do it a little bit faster, what I do is I type a number, I hold down shift, and I click somewhere else. I type a number, hold down shift, click somewhere else, and it gives me an entire range, and control enter fills that in. Whatever's in that upper left hand square or cell is going to fill in the whole range on there. And of course, then all you have to do if you mess up is you're just deleting the numbers that are in there. So sometimes it's faster to delete rather than type all the individual numbers. Here we go. Kimberly's rocking that. There we go. Another trick you can do is you type a number and you click on that color, and then you have the fill down square down in the corner, and you pull it down. It's going to copy that number repeatedly very quickly. So using that fill down square in the very bottom corner, and pull down. Yeah, absolutely, Kimberly. So I am on yours, and if I type any number like 5 and I press enter, I click back on that cell. It has the 5 in it. And if you look real closely in the bottom right-hand corner of that cell is a chunky blue box. And if you grab that blue box and just pull it down or pull it across, it copies whatever's in that cell. So see if your red square here, if you just grab the corner, you can pull down, just yank it. You can do it a lot faster. Oh, that's not you anymore. Abandoned ship. Oh, Kimberly too. Okay. We'll let Lauren finish. So Lauren, you see here you've got this 8. You can actually just pull it up. You can do this much faster by pulling on the corner. Now, of course, you got to get it diagonally on there, but I'm holding down the control key. No, that didn't work. I didn't think it would, but it's worth a try. Trying to see if I can do this. Probably not. Delete. Okay. So if you go to alicekeeler.com/pixelart, I'm copying the link to this tab. I'm on my Hi tab. I am going to link to this tab. And I have protected this tab. You can see that I have a padlock down on the tab on the bottom to keep you from editing it, but you can click on this to get to pixel art, or you can just go to http://alicekeeler.com/pixelart. And that is the template. So you can make this as often as you want. It is exactly what you just did. In fact, I started this off by going alicekeeler.com/pixelart, and then I used template tab to repeat it multiple times so that I had the same pixel graphic organizer. It's not really graphic organizer, just template in the same spreadsheet. So when you want to do this with your students, you just need to go to alicekeeler.com/pixelart and you can start a fresh copy. Any comments, questions, concerns so far?
Okay, Alice. Can you remind us how you got person 1, person 2, etc.?
Yeah, I have an add-on called Template Tab.
Oh, yeah.
So I had gone to alicekeeler.com/pixelart, which gives me the template. And then on the first sheet, I inserted a new sheet. That was the first sheet. And then I put the names on that first sheet with the pixel art template as the second sheet. And then when I run template tab, it copies that pixel art template multiple times. You bet. So I'm going to go, and so in this, I'm just giving you the resource. So like, well, how do I get this? So it's really literally as easy as that. Is you go to alicekeeler.com/pixelart. It gives the template. You push it out through Google Classroom as make a copy for each student. Or you just write down alicekeeler.com/pixelart and the kids can click on it and it'll make a copy. It'll prompt them to make a copy. There's no code in this at all. There's absolutely no code in the pixel art. It is just conditional formatting. So it's just a fun trick and I've set it up for you. If you go to the percentages tab, I have a math lesson that I have created with pixel art. So I'm going to link to that sheet. And if you click on the link, it's going to prompt you to make a copy Make a copy. And this also has no code. It says no code. It is all just formulas. So when I come in here, it says put your name here. So you click on B2. It's this big gold box. And I'm just going to start typing. And it says Alice. And when I go to the next tabs, you see I have 4 tabs down along the bottom. It says, hey, Alice, why don't you make me a picture? And that just uses the pixel art. And so you're able to create your picture. Those of you who aren't aware, I try my best to make a creeper from Minecraft. A lot of times the kids get really excited about that. So when I look at the 4 C's, the 4 C's are clearly communicates ideas, critical thinking, creative thinking, and collaboration. And I try to get at least 1 C into every lesson. So what does creativity mean? Creativity is not a craft. Writing an essay is very creative. Anything you're doing where you have to make some sort of a decision that's different than the person next to you entails some level of creativity. So that's what I really like about doing a pixel art activity is it starts by letting the kids make a picture of whatever they want. They make a picture of whatever they want, or depending on what you teach, make a picture of something in your class. So if you're teaching science, they can recreate some of the molecules or science elements or mitosis to model it, and they can, instead of drawing it, they can do in pixel art, which is a really fun thing to do. But you give them some sort of a drawing challenge where ultimately what they have would not be exactly the same as the kid next to them. It gets them into a spreadsheet. They get to do something creative. Let's be honest, it's kind of fun, right? So I look at this and I say, describe how would I estimate my percentages? So I'd say I have 0 of those because I know it. And it looks like my green is probably be about 75%. And my black then would be 25%. So just going through and making that estimate based on their picture. Now we're going to go to the next sheet. If you go to the calculate sheet, you'll see I've used the advantages of a spreadsheet that does some math. So this actually, it's brought over my picture. So I made the picture on the second tab. It actually brings it over into the third tab. It has counted, I have 50 cells. 38 of those are green and 12 of those are black. So the point here being is to help kids to learn to calculate and estimate with percentages. And the point's not to, can you do long division? So what they can do here is I say this equals the number of green divided by the total. So this introduces them to writing formulas. In a spreadsheet, it has to start with an equal sign, that they would click on those and press enter. And actually, you'd have to show them how to go times 100 to convert it into a percentage. And so look at that and see how it compares. It says that I was 76%, and on the other tab, I had said 75. So I actually did pretty darn good there. So this equals the number of black ones divided by the overall total times 100. So by doing it this way, then you can't just copy paste the formula down. I intentionally put the colors across the top so they'd have to, for each color, think about how do I calculate the percentage, and then we can talk about them. Okay, compare. I have a tab that compares them. Here's what you said, and here's what you got. All right, we're going to go back to the pixel art, excuse me, my presentation. I'm going to link you to this tab. Thanks, Kimberly. One thing I love about spreadsheets is when I'm looking at a particular sheet, if I copy the link up at the top, that link goes to that sheet. So I'm looking at this sheet. I would like you to all be on this sheet with me. I get the link up at the top. I put that into the chat, and now you are going to be on my tab. So I teach geometry. What do you teach? So Lauren makes this too easy for me by using computers, because this is obviously a great way to introduce spreadsheets. Just a great way to introduce spreadsheets to students. Doing the percentages activity as a way that you can use the pixel art and tie it into an introduction to doing formulas, because in 5th grade they have calculated percentages before, or they could do the average, or they could do any number of mathematical calculations. What's the average number of all the numbers in their pixel art, right? So just a fun way to introduce, like, why would I use formulas? Well, now I can tell things about my picture, just as a engage activity, right? Get it started. So for 5th grade, what's specifically something that you are teaching this week? Oh, we got another math person. It makes it even a little bit easier, just a tiny bit. The reason why it's easier with math is because basically, in order to make the picture, you got to use numbers. And so now you start pulling the data from that picture, and you're able to make math calculations. Poetry, okay. All right, my friends, I would like you to brainstorm over here in these yellow ones. How can we do poetry with pixel art? That is your challenge. Poetry with pixel art. We are brainstorming. Now, obviously, you can't do every single lesson with a pixel art activity, but I think you could do a lot of them. You're teaching 5th grade. You've got a holiday every single month. So just as a fun way to make Valentine's, it can be done in pixel art. Create a scene that describes the poem. That was my go-to on that. You know, if there's a key word from the poem, what's your favorite word from it? Make it in pixel art. We all saw how Lauren was having a good time making her name in there. Analyze language. See, now you got me thinking, because what happens right now with the pixel art, if you type a letter, nothing. Yeah. I know, well, I've made them before. It's just not part of this template, is if you type letters, that it would color code. So if we were to make some sort of, okay, it's not blackout poetry, so it's not exactly like that. But if you were to write your poem where every letter is its own cell, we can apply conditional formatting. So the way that I do that is I actually click on the awesome box. It is above the one and to the left of the A. It selects all. So the first thing I do is I select all of the cells, and I go to format, and I go to conditional formatting. So what you're going to see is, here is my magic of how I did that. I said, if the text is 44, make it green. If the text is 55, make it blue. And I have tediously gone through, and you see I've gone through and I've done it for double, triple, quadruple digits. But I can also do, if the cell is exactly the cell, text is exactly, and I say A, then I can choose a color. And then I just click down here, add another rule. If the text is exactly B, then it's this color. Add another rule. If the text is exactly L, and I'm doing this on purpose to speed up the process. If the text is exactly I, the text is exactly C. Oops. This one's E. If I could change the color on the other one. Hit done. See, I have I and C are the same, so I'll just change this one to whatever that is. So really, it's just as easy as you highlight the cells, you go to format, you go to conditional formatting, and it's text is exactly. If you have text is exactly, that it would color the cell in a particular color. So alicekeeler.com/pixelart, alicekeeler.com/pixelart does this for you. So you don't have to go through and set it up for the numbers. But if you wanted to do something like the word Valentine's or each a different shade of pink, they use any of those letters. I did one for a holiday, took the pixel art template, and I added the letters in pumpkin that they did shades of orange, green, and brown. So you can make a pumpkin with the letters pumpkin. And that's how I did it myself. So just a low barrier of entry. You don't do the formatting yourself. You go to alicekeeler.com/pixelart and you would do the, just use it. And then if you want to kick it up a notch, you can adjust the conditional formatting on it. Basically, my kind of rule is that they can make a picture to go along with whatever the lesson is. That's the quick and dirty, low-hanging fruit. I have an activity from Joe Bowler. I believe it's, I believe that it is alicekeeler.com/Bowler Brownies. Try it. Pretty sure this is it. It's looking like it. No? You know why? It's because it's capitalized. Caps lock on. How about that? There we go. Bowler Brownies. It needs to be lowercase. Let me fix that over here. And you'll see what this is. So Sam has a pan of brownies. He wants to cut into 24 equal pieces. He wants to share them equally with his 5 friends. Partition the pan of brownies and use color coding to show how many Sam and his friends will get. So, you know, my first friend, these are their brownies. My second friend, these are their brownies. And one of the key things that we want students to do is we want to demonstrate their thinking in multiple ways. So what's another way that you could cut up these brownies? And so with the pixel art, it allows me to divide up. You could do this as a game to place placers on there. I think that you could use this concept where the cells will turn a certain color when you type in a number in really, I was going to say infinite, but a seemingly infinite number of ways. All right, so my objective here today was to introduce you to pixel art that you can go to alicekeeler.com/pixelart. That is fully free with no code and something that you can just do for fun as like a Valentine's activity or name your holiday. Or you can tie it into some of your lessons by allowing them to create a picture or perhaps demonstrate a process. Yeah, of course you can, Gabby. That is definitely no problem. So, Gabby, on this tab is the percentages. So if you go there, when you click on that, it'll prompt you to make a copy of that activity.
Alice, I've shared a link if you would like to
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm going to copy my link.
look at it.
All right, we got a bunch of big boxes. Is this the same that I would type in 1, 2?
Yes, it's your template, but limited to 100 of cells so that we can introduce the concept of percentage as a fraction of 100.
Very nice. Oh, and you had the little pop-up box from the coding. Look at you. I think that's really great. And I think you could also use this not just for the concept of 100, but you have this game called Make 100 from UCube to help students understand arrays. So what they do is they roll 2 dice. So I roll a 2 and a 3. So me being player 1, I would make a 2 by 3 array. And then player 2, they roll 2 dice. And so say you rolled a 4 and a 1. Then you being player 2, that's a 4 by 1 array. And the goal is you're visualizing that this is 4 by 1 is 4 cells, right? 3 by 2 is 6 cells. And actually you want to have a place where they write that down, they keep track. And through the practice of trying to do this, if you play it single player, the goal is to fill up the whole board. And if you play it against a partner, then the goal is to keep them from being able to play. And then they get some conceptual understanding about it. Again, they wouldn't just, if I roll a 4 and a 2, do a 4 by 2 block, but they'd also write down 4 times 2 is 8, that this is 8 blocks. And then they can count up how many blocks did I have. You can obviously extend this in a few ways. So nice job. Thanks for sharing that, Gabby. It's Make 100. I, of course, have coded it. So if you want the dice, if you do alicekay.com/make100, it rolls the dice in the spreadsheet, and it has this grid like you made. But again, the idea would be to do 1s and 2s for each of the players to fill up the board. Oh, Santa, that's real simple. You do the select all box, so the awesome box, what I like to call it. If you resize one column, they all resize. If you resize one row, they all resize. So if we come back to my template here, where I got them real skinny, if I do the awesome box and it selects all, you can just resize one of it to make it twice as big and resize one row to make it twice as tall, and now you have a bigger grid. Good. Any other questions?
If we're in this collaborative sheet and someone does a resize on theirs, does it affect the entire?
No, it's
all of
that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Bye, Gabby. Thank you. All right. Thanks, you guys, for coming. I hope it was helpful.
Thank you so much.
It was great. Thank